So I've got myself a new hobby, to a relatively inexpensive hobby that will see me through to Christmas. And what it is, I was in a charity shop and I found this, which I have. I have it on vinyl in France, Into the Light, Christopher. When the needle goes down on the first track last night, it's just great the way it starts. Just electronic drums comes in with a little hi-hat thing, and then a fill-in, and then it just blasts in. It's a great opening song for any album. Um, so I couldn't resist buying myself another copy because I thought my copy is 500 miles away. I can listen to this one sometime in England maybe. And then I thought, what if? Oh, well then, no, the next thing that happened was I was offered to go through some old records of someone and take whichever 8 to 10 records of his that I wanted. I also bought this while I was in the charity shop buying that Christopher. I bought soundtrack from Dr. Zhivago, which was actually the first one that caught my eye, if I'm honest. And that is, I think, oh, that's stereo. I think there is a mono version, that's stereo. And I also bought the Shadows 20 Golden Greats. That's not particularly rare, but it's nice because one of the first singles that I had was Apache. It wasn't my single, it was my mother's, of course. But it was in amongst the singles that I could play on my record player. Apache was one of the ones. So I got those three, and then I thought, well, let's start collecting records. Why not? It's cheap enough. Go to charity shops. They're sometimes only £1 or 50p each. And then this friend who I'm helping move house, he said he had the huge record collection. He said you can take 8 or 10 records that you like from the collection. So I found another Christopher, The Getaway. I got the Sound of Music, one of my favourites, if not my favourite musical. Fantastic musical, that. One of my favourite musicals. I got the Simon and Garfunkel collection, not the one with their faces on the front, but the one with them walking on a beach. So this ends with Bridge Over Troubled Water. I think the other one with their faces close up, I think that's got it sort of at the beginning of side 2 or something. I think the Simon and Garfunkel album should end with Bridge Over Troubled Water. Anyway, it's a similar collection. Very similar. There's no live versions on there as far as I can see. But I think one of the Bridge Over Troubled Water, Bridge Over Troubled Water, is it a live version always? Because I don't think I've ever heard it in a non-live version. Okay, I picked up Making Movies, Dire Straits. I don't know why I'm turning it around because it's the same on the back. It's got Romeo and Juliet on it. Picked up, of course, one of the most iconic album covers of all, Brothers in Arms. And this I was most excited about, Love Over Gold. Most excited about that one. It's a very special record for me because the first time I ever saw someone with a personal stereo, he had it on a train. It's one of these very square, blocky Sony Walkmans, one of the very first ones that ever came out. He was sitting on a train and he had it standing up on its end, standing up like a book on the table on the train. And he had it playing, and he had the cassette for Love Over Gold case also standing up facing him, and he was listening to it. And I looked at that picture and I instantly had an idea of precise, immaculately written music from that. And it perfectly encapsulates what the music was like. So that's exciting to have that on vinyl. I picked this up because we used to have a cassette in the car that had Tijuana Taxi and some other of these kind of is it kind of Mexican or Cuban kind of brass. So that'll be fun to listen to. It's got Tijuana Taxi in it. It's got a nice James Bond greatest hits there. That very iconic picture of Roger Moore. Well, actually, I don't know if it's Roger Moore or if it's George Lazenby, or if it's just James Bond, because he's the same picture almost on my James Bond book, and it doesn't quite look like any of them. Anyway, these are the actual songs from James Bond, but there's also a couple of Bond meets Solitaire. There's a few little extra bits and pieces in there that are not songs. Under the Mango Tree, so that would be nice. That's a nice album. We got Play Bach. Now we had Play Bach, I don't know if it was number 2 or number 1. I think number 1 was exactly the same as this, but with the Jacques Lucet in a different colour, in red or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this is Play Bach number 2, which I don't think has the air on the G string, which is a shame, which is their most iconic piece. I picked this up for 99 pence the other day. Peter Skellen, Still Magic. I don't know the song. Raining in My Heart, I know. I don't recognise any of the other songs, but they're his arrangements of songs that are well known, usually, I think. So there's another Peter Skellen as well, Esther. It's got Cheek to Cheek, Putting on the Ritz, Let's Call the Whole Thing Off, Night and Day. So that'll be interesting. That was another 99p one. Actually, underneath the 99p sticker, I believe I can see a $2.99 sticker, and even that replaced $3.99. So I got that really cheap. I've now just ripped off part of the design there by ripping off the label. They do that with charities shops. Unfortunately, they stick them on with the wrong glue. So I've now just made that worth even less than 99p. This is an odd one to find, and it's got one of these funny sleeves. I don't know whether these sleeves are to do with the charity shop, but I don't think they are, but I don't know. But this is the Red Army Choir. I shouldn't imagine many places are going to want to be displaying that in their shop. Mixture of stereo and mono. Anyway, it's got Russia by Fatherland. The Song of Prague. The Black Sea Sun is Shining. Anyway, that will be nice. Interesting to listen to. Made in Czechoslovakia by Supraphon. So the date of this, the date must be quite early. I don't know how you read these writings in there. It's in really good condition, and it's a very thick record actually, that one. So I think that is quite old, to be honest. Yes. 1946. There's no dates on it. The longest date that's mentioned on the back there is 1946. Ah, now then. This was 50p, this one. Really cheap. Can I get the sticker off without reducing its value even further? believe I can. I've got the sticker off more or less. This is Demis Roussos Forever and Ever, for those Abigail's Party moments. I do actually like Demis Roussos, but I just could not resist the idea of recreating the Abigail's Party moment. Found this yesterday or the day before? Yesterday. £1. Berlin, Take My Breath Away. Produced by Giorgio Moroder. That is a 12-inch. Lots of space between the grooves, that'll sound great. That is going to be really something. We've got the Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling on the back. And then we've got Giorgio Moroder, Radar Radio as the second track on the back, which I don't know. Be interesting to hear. Now today, we picked up 3 from the other charity shop here in Croxley. We've got this very unusual John Denver, One World, which looks like possibly his last album. It's got this iconic picture on the back. And it's got songs I've never heard of, that will be interesting. And it's also got, which is nice, lyric sheets inside. Got to have an Engelbert Humperdinck, but it's actually quite an unusual one. It's quite early, but it's got some good ones on it. It's got Up, Up and Away, which I'm pleased about. I've never heard him do that song. Got Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, of course. Spanish Eyes, Cuando, 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 What a Wonderful World. Haven't heard him do that, I don't think, or have I? By the time I get to Phoenix. So there's some really great songs on there. Slightly unusual ones. Not the ones I mentioned, but some of the others look unusual. And this was a nice find today. This Odyssey, Native New Yorker. Absolute cracker of a song. Also got the lyric sheet. And that, I can't wait for the needle to go down on that one. You grew up riding the subways, running with people, up in Harlem, down on Broadway. You're no tramp, you're no lady, talking that street talk. You're the heart and soul of New York City. Love is just a passing word. It's the thought. Anyway, you know that song. Wonderful song. Native New Yorker. So the plan is, Christmas time, I buy myself a turntable from HMV, one of these ones with speakers built in, or maybe on strings, and we start to play these all. We start to put the needle down on them, high volume. And the record collection, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 records. Maybe I stopped there with the 20. And that will be my record